The warning Earth had always ignored the calls from the stars, the warnings from other civilizations, the galactic summits where leaders from thousands of planets met. Humans believed they were too small, too young, too insignificant to matter. They laughed at the messages, calling them space bureaucracy and alien nonsense. But far beyond the solar system, something was watching, waiting, calculating. In a quiet observatory on the outskirts of Nevada, Dr. Elena Morris stared at the blinking screen. The signals were unusual, patterns she had never seen before. Her fingers shook as she zoomed in on the data. "Commander," she whispered, "you need to see this." The military officer, a tall man with a stern face, leaned over, frowning at the numbers. "This is impossible," he said. "These ships, they are moving faster than anything we know." Elena nodded, her heart pounding. "And they are coming this way." Meanwhile, in the United Nations building, the regular debates were happening. Representatives argued over budgets, trade, and Earth's climate. No one cared about the message from the Galactic Council. The hologram flickered on the wall, showing a calm alien diplomat. "Earth must participate in the council," the alien voice said. "Your planet cannot be ignored any longer." But the representatives just shook their heads, muttering, "Humans have no time for alien politics." Back on Earth, ordinary people went about their lives. Unaware of the danger, children played in the parks, planes flew overhead, cities buzzed with lights. No one noticed the small probes slipping silently through the sky. No one knew that beyond Mars, the first signs of the Armada were forming. 2,000 ships, hidden in the dark void, waiting for the right moment. Dr. Morris and her team worked through the night, analyzing the signals. The data was clear something huge was coming, something powerful, but when they tried to alert the government, they were dismissed. "Probably a comet," a young politician said. Laughing, Elena clenched her fists. "No, this is not a comet. This is a warning, a message we cannot ignore." As the night deepened, strange phenomena began appearing in the sky, glowing streaks, almost like lightning, but slower, more deliberate. Satellites reported energy fluctuations in the outer planets. Naval ships detected strange disturbances in the oceans, and in the middle of the Pacific, a small research vessel vanished without a trace. Only a faint signal remained, a pulse repeating the same message, almost like a code. Humans argued, ignored, and underestimated, but the void was patient. It did not care for disbelief or arrogance. The Armada continued to approach, silently, inexorably, and on Earth, Dr. Morris knew the truth. She felt it deep in her bones. The first warning was over, but the real test had only just begun. Somewhere in the darkness, thousands of vessels waited, and soon, Earth would have no choice but to face them. And as the sun rose over the horizon, painting the skies red and gold, Elena looked at the blinking radar, the numbers dancing across the screen. Her voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "They are here. They are coming. And this time, the universe will not forgive our ignorance." The arrival, the quiet of space shattered suddenly. A shadow moved at the edge of the solar system. 2,000 vessels appeared as if from nowhere. Enormous ships, dark and shining, stretching beyond imagination. They did not announce themselves with words. They did not send a greeting. They were silent, and their presence alone made every radar and sensor on Earth scream in alarm. Military bases scrambled, sirens blared, jets took off, missiles readied themselves. Yet no one dared to strike first. The Armada seemed untouchable, in orbit above Earth. Satellites were quickly jammed, their signals blocked by an invisible shield. The news spread like fire, and panic began to creep into cities. People ran to their homes, looking at the sky, seeing shapes that should not exist, shapes that terrified even the bravest. At the United Nations, the Council gathered in emergency session. Ambassadors shouted over each other, blaming one another, prepared to fight. Some screamed, "Do not provoke them." Others argued. The holographic image of the Armada flickered on the screens, showing endless rows of ships. No one knew how many were really out there. Some scientists guessed more than 2,000. Some guessed tens of thousands. And the thought made hearts pound. On Earth, Dr. Elena Morris watched the skies from the observatory. Her fingers moved over the controls, but nothing could stop what was coming. "They are not attacking yet," she said, her voice tense. "They are watching, learning, waiting." Her assistant, a young man named Rav, shook his head. "Why are they here? Why not just destroy us?" Elena did not answer. She could feel that this was not simple aggression. The Armada was testing humanity, gauging its strength, its courage, its unity. Strange things began to happen on Earth. Small at first, almost easy to ignore. Electrical grids flickered, planes lost contact. Ocean tides rose in unnatural waves. Even the animals seemed uneasy. Birds flying in frantic patterns, whales singing long, mournful songs, and then, across the world, lights appeared in the night sky, bright, moving slowly. No one could explain them, but everyone felt the fear in their hearts. Children hid under their beds, thinking it was the end. Old people whispered that the warnings had finally come true. Governments finally realized that ignoring the galaxy had been a mistake. Emergency summits were called. Scientists, generals, and leaders argued. Some wanted to surrender, to send messages begging for mercy. Others wanted to attack first, to show humanity's strength. But the Armada remained still, hovering in the void, unmoving, silent. Every decision seemed impossible, every option dangerous. Alina tried once more to contact the Armada, sending signals, coded messages, even greetings. But there was no reply, only a faint pulse, repeating in rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Ravi stared at the screens. "It's like they are alive," he said. Alina nodded. "They are, in a way we cannot understand." The pulse grew stronger, as if the Armada wanted to communicate. And for the first time, humanity realized they were not just facing machines or ships. They were facing intelligence, vast, old, and unknowable. And as night fell across the world, the Armada did not attack. Instead, it positioned itself closer, surrounding the planet silently. A shadow fell across Earth, blocking the moonlight, casting the world into an uneasy darkness. Alina watched, her heart heavy, knowing that humanity's real test had only begun. The Armada had arrived, not as enemies yet, but as a warning, a challenge, a mirror, to show how small and fragile Earth really was. Somewhere in space, the fleet waited, patient, endless, and on Earth, people everywhere looked up at the sky, uncertain, afraid, but also strangely united in the knowledge that their world had changed forever. The Armada hovered silently above Earth, dark shapes blotting out the stars. No weapon fired, no ship moved, yet the entire planet felt the weight of their presence. Nations held their breath, waiting for the first move. Every radar, every telescope, every eye in the sky was fixed on the looming fleet. Then, without warning, small ships began to descend from the Armada. Sleek, silver, and silent, they cut through the atmosphere like streaks of light. They did not attack, but their movement sent a shockwave of fear through military commanders. Jets were scrambled, missiles locked on targets, but no one dared to fire. These vessels were too advanced, too fast, too strange to fight. On the ground, Dr. Alina Morris watched the approaching ships. Her hands trembled as she adjusted the sensors. "They are not hostile, not yet," she whispered. Her assistant Ravi stared at her in disbelief. "How do you know?" Alina did not answer. She could feel it. A strange intelligence moving through the vessels. Something aware, something curious, something waiting. The first ship landed in a remote desert, its metal surface reflecting the sun like liquid. A ramp extended, slowly, revealing a figure unlike anything humans had seen. Tall, graceful, with skin that shimmered like starlight, eyes that seemed to see everything. The ambassador had come, but not with words. Only presence, only expectation. Military forces encircled the ship, guns raised, hearts racing. A translator device crackled. Strange sounds converted into human words. "Earth," the alien voice said, calm, echoing. "We have watched your world. Your species ignores warnings, rejects wisdom, and yet, you survive. We wish to know why." Alina stepped forward, her heart pounding. We do not know. We are young, we are flawed, but we try to survive. We try to learn." The alien's eyes shimmered, as if measuring her honesty, her courage, her fear. Suddenly, the sky above darkened further, more ships descending. The Armada was watching the meeting, thousands of eyes from the void. A pulse of energy radiated from the alien ambassador, scanning the humans. Some soldiers felt weak, others felt strange clarity, as if their minds were being touched. It was both beautiful and terrifying, a reminder that these were not ordinary beings. Alina realized the first contact was not just words, it was a test. The aliens wanted to understand humans, their hearts, their intentions. Ravi whispered, "Do you think they could destroy us if they wanted?" Alina nodded slowly. "Yes, but maybe they are looking for more than destruction. Maybe they are looking for courage." Then, the unexpected happened. The ambassador paused, raising one hand. A beam of light shot into the sky, forming symbols that no human could read, and suddenly, the translator device picked up a cryptic message. Elena shivered, knowing this was a warning, a riddle, and a challenge all at once. Before anyone could respond, the alien ambassador stepped back, the ramp retracted, and the ship rose slowly, joining the armada. The message echoed in the minds of everyone present. Humanity had faced first contact, and survived. But the real test was far from over. Somewhere in the void, thousands of vessels waited, patient, calculating, and Earth, small, fragile, and defiant, had no choice but to prepare for what was coming next. As night fell, lights from the armada shimmered against the stars. Elena stood alone, staring at the sky. They are not enemies, not yet, but they are watching, always watching, and if we fail, if we lose courage, the universe will not forgive us. The battle plan Earth had survived the first contact, but relief was the armada still hovered in the void, silent, countless ships stretching beyond imagination. Every nation on Earth felt the weight of the threat, and fear began to turn into action. In the United Nations, emergency meetings dragged on for hours. Leaders shouted, argued, and blamed each other. Prepare to fight. Some demanded, we must communicate, not provoke them. Others warned. Scientists like Dr. Alina Morris worked tirelessly, analyzing the signals, searching for weaknesses. She had discovered small patterns in the energy shields of the armada, something no one else had noticed. It is subtle, she told the generals, but if we focus our fire here, we might stand a chance. The generals exchanged worried glances, knowing it would not be easy. Across the world, armies trained, weapons were upgraded, and space fleets were mobilized. Ships once used for exploration were now armed for combat. Pilots ran simulations, testing every scenario, every possibility. Yet despite the preparations, uncertainty remained. The armada did not attack, did not communicate. They simply waited, watching, calculating. In secret labs, teams of scientists worked on new technologies, energy weapons, fast response ships, defensive shields. Ravi looked at the plans nervously. Do you really think we can stop them? Alina did not answer, her mind racing. We may not stop them, but we can fight, and we must. She knew that courage, not just weapons, would decide the outcome. Meanwhile, the armada sent small scouting vessels into Earth's orbit. They did not attack, but they observed everything, studying human reactions. Some military leaders panicked at the slightest movement. Others began to understand that these were not simple invaders. They were measuring humanity's will, its unity, its ability to act under pressure. Tensions on Earth grew as nations argued over strategy. Some wanted to surrender, believing resistance was useless. Others wanted to strike first, showing the armada they were strong. Alina watched the discussions with worry, knowing that division could be deadly. The aliens had made it clear their judgment depended on courage and unity. If humans fought among themselves, they would fail before the first shot was fired. Then came the first drill. Earth's combined fleets gathered in orbit. Ships from every country, once rivals, now forced to cooperate. Pilots trained together, exchanging information, learning to trust each other. Missiles were tested, energy beams calibrated, shields activated. The scale of the preparations amazed everyone. Even Ravi, usually skeptical, felt a spark of hope. Maybe we can do this, he whispered. Alina nodded. Maybe, but the real test is coming soon. As night fell across the planet, radar screens flickered with movement. Small lights appeared near the armada, testing human defenses. The ships had not attacked, but the message was clear. The armada was ready, and Earth had to be ready too. Every decision now carried weight. Every choice mattered. One wrong move could ignite the very battle they hoped to survive. And so, as people everywhere slept uneasily, leaders, scientists, and soldiers prepared for the unknown, the countdown had begun. The shadow of the armada loomed over the world, and Earth, united yet fragile, waited for the moment when courage would meet the void. Clash of the void. The sky above Earth burned with light as the armada moved from the shadows into striking range. 2,000 ships, massive and silent, surrounded the planet like a storm ready to explode. Earth's fleets were in position, every weapon primed, every pilot ready. The first true test had arrived, and no one could escape it. Lasers streaked across the dark void, energy beams cutting through the blackness, missiles launched. colliding with shields that shimmered like glass. Earth's fleets fought bravely, but the Armada was unlike anything humans had imagined. Ships twisted, disappeared, and reappeared in ways that defied logic. Every strike was met with a counter, every tactic tested and broken. On the ground, Dr. Elena Morris and Ravi watched from the observatory. "Is this what we were preparing for?" Ravi shouted over the alarms. Elena clenched her fists. "Yes, and we have to be smarter, faster, braver." In orbit, young pilots risked everything, darting between massive alien ships. Their small ships seemed insignificant, but courage drove them. One squadron found a weakness in the enemy's energy shield, discovered by Elena's calculations. A single strike could disrupt the formation, and humanity seized the chance. Explosions lit up the void as humans and aliens clashed. Ships twisted and turned, smoke and sparks trailing behind. Ravi gasped as one of the alien vessels collapsed. But even in victory, fear remained. The Armada did not retreat. It adjusted, it learned. It was a battle of wits, courage, and survival. Amid the chaos, unexpected heroics emerged. A small group of pilots, using speed and teamwork, disabled a communications hub on a massive alien ship. This allowed Earth's forces to coordinate, finally gaining an advantage. Elena realized then that the aliens were testing not just strength, but unity. The more humanity worked together, the better their chances. Suddenly, a beam of light shot from the Armada toward Earth. It did not hit cities or weapons, but seemed to sweep across the planet. Almost like a warning, Ravi felt his knees go weak, a shiver running down his spine. "They are showing us power," Elena said quietly, "and reminding us who holds the advantage." The battle raged through the night, both sides taking losses. Ships exploded in fireballs, debris floated in orbit, and the sound of energy weapons filled the void. But humanity endured, showing courage, unity, and creativity. The Armada, for the first time, paused, as if impressed. The humans had survived the first wave, but the war was far from over. As the dawn broke over Earth, the fleet slowly retreated. Thousands of ships returned to the void, leaving a quiet tension in their wake. The skies were empty again, but every eye on the planet watched, waiting. Elena and Ravi looked at the fading lights, exhausted but alive. "We did it. For now," Elena whispered, "but they will return, and next time, the test will be even harder." Somewhere in the dark reaches of space, the Armada regrouped. Thousands of vessels, patient, endless, calculating, and on Earth, people everywhere felt the same truth. Courage had kept them alive, unity had saved them, but the universe had not yet judged humanity. The real challenge was still to come, and so Earth remained, battered but unbroken, a small blue planet in a galaxy that suddenly felt very large, waiting, watching, preparing for the next clash of the void. Arham stepped forward, his breath slow and heavy. The underground hall was completely silent now. The glowing symbols on the walls had faded, leaving only a pale red line on the floor that led to a large stone door. It was the only door that had not opened yet. It stood tall, wide, and darker than the rest, almost like a shadow carved into the wall. Sakia looked at it with a strange mix of fear and curiosity. This must be the last one," he whispered. Henia didn't answer. Her eyes were fixed on the carvings on the door spirals, arrows, and a circle in the center. The circle was glowing faintly, like a dying ember. Wally walked closer and placed his hand near the carvings without touching them. "The door, different lag. Raha Hai," he said softly. The others were warnings, but this one feels like a boundary. Aram took a deep breath. A boundary to what? Before anyone could answer, the ground vibrated gently under their feet. Not like an earthquake, more like something giant taking a slow breath from behind the door. Everyone froze. Hania stepped back. Something is alive behind it. Sakir swallowed hard. Alive? Down here? For how long? Aram felt a cold shiver run down his spine, but he moved forward anyway. "We came this far. We need to see what's inside." Wally looked at Arham with worry. "Are you sure? What if it is dangerous?" Arham shook his head. "We've already opened 5 doors. They led us deeper and deeper. This one is different. Maybe it will tell us why this place exists." He reached toward the glowing circle on the door. "Wait." Hania grabbed his arm. "Last time, the walls reacted. Maybe this door will too." But Arham slowly placed his hand on the circle. A loud crack echoed through the hall. The carvings lit up in a bright red glow, and the stone door began to shake. Dust fell from the ceiling. The glowing line on the floor blazed like fire. Sakir backed away quickly. Arham, stop. It's opening. The door slid upward with a deep, thunderous sound, revealing a long, dark chamber inside. Cold wind rushed out, blowing their hair and clothes, like they were standing in front of a mountain storm. But it wasn't just wind, it carried a sound, a heartbeat, slow, heavy, echoing. Thump, thump, thump. Hania covered her ears. It's so loud. Wally stepped behind Aram, staring into the darkness. What is that? The chamber slowly lit up on its